Ryan, setthepacetriathlon.com, doing a quick little video. Took a little survey a while back on my Facebook page, kind of gauging interest or even knowledge about TriDot, and it appears that some people have not heard about TriDot, even though they are plastered all over IRONMAN. They're currently the training platform partner with IRONMAN here in 2024. I'm also a coach within TriDot, so I thought I would get a little bit more knowledge out there for the people that follow my page and follow me and the videos I do, just to make sure that you guys are aware of who they are and what they do, and to see if it's a benefit to you. If not, no problem, whatever, move on. But just in case you want a little bit more information, just kind of give you some little quick ins and outs to begin with. And as always, if you have questions, put them in the live feed or anything like that, check back. Make sure you pay attention to the whole little webinar that we're going to do, because at the end I want to tell you how you can maybe get some access to try it out for free for TriDot, to get in there and just kind of poke around, see if it's worth your time. Totally free, no charge, and if it's not for you, then you can just move on your way. But if it does work out for you, it could open the door to possibly doing a little bit more efficient and better training over time. So with that, like I said, pay attention to the very end. I'll tell you how you can get in there and maybe do a free trial or something like that, just to poke around, kick the tires, all that kind of fun stuff. Again, Ryan, setthepacetriathlon.com. I've been racing long course endurance events. First marathon was 2005. So I've been doing that for a while, about to 13 full Ironman races, 16 half Ironman races, over 100 multi-distance, multi-purpose, discipline events between adventure racing, mountain biking, triathlons, duathlons, all that kind of stuff, off-road, on-road. I've done it all, been there, done all that. Not ventured into the ultra distance besides Ironman distance races, but I have done enough that I've also been coaching since 2012. So I've used today's plan, I've used Training Peaks, and now I'm on to TriDot. So I've definitely have progressed and matured with the times, and tried to stay on the leading edge of the training software and tools out there to kind of help my athletes and to help me. I figured if I wouldn't use it for training, it's not something I would share with my athletes or have them do. So with that, this is why I wanted to get TriDot out there. I definitely use the platform myself, coach on it as well. And it's not to say that you don't have to be a full one-on-one coach client of mine to be able to use TriDot. It's for beginners up to the very pointy end of competitive athletes out there trying to win their age groups. Even professionals are using TriDot for their training platform. So we're going to jump into it a little bit. So as you see in the background of the page, I pulled up TriDot.com. And this is kind of the leading page that you'll see when you jump in there. There's a start free button, but don't push that. Make sure you stay to the very end of the video. Don't start it until you find out how to get in there and get your free trial. So they've got all the things you would ever want to know about the platform: home, features, what TriDot delivers. So you can read all their information, and this will give you the very specific details like this. This video is a very 10,000 foot level, but if you want to go in here and find out a little bit more detail about what exactly the platform does and what it can do. So you got all the frequently asked questions, leadership about TriDot. They partnered with IRONMAN. They're working with IRONMAN to do their IRONMAN University. I'm a certified coach within IRONMAN as well. So they are revamping that education services for IRONMAN. So they're a very integral part of the IRONMAN just universe in general as far as coaching and training goes. So TriDot for coaches. So if you want to become a coach in TriDot, there's the opportunity for you as well. They've got their community, ambassadors, podcasts, YouTube channels, all that kind of stuff. Pool School, which is in-person training for swim technique and swim improvement. So they've got schools all over the place for that. So if you want more information, let me know. Kind of what everybody comes for is the pricing. I kind of zoom through everything else. I know as an athlete, what I go through first is what does it do, and then how much does it cost. So the price you can see here in the background, they've got very much Essentials, Complete, Mark Allen Edition, which is a little bit more than Complete, and then Premium is when you've got a coach. And then you've got the Lifestyle. So it's more of a one scheduled sprint or Olympic weekly training optimization knowledge base. So this is a short course, so Olympic or shorter. You pick your one race, and it does all your training and setup of your training schedule from that race. So if you want to do little bit more than that, if you got 3 races, you want to do 70.3s, you're going to have to bump up the essentials, but still $40 a month. And if you go to Training Peaks and you buy a training plan, and then if you want access to be able to move around your training and readjust things as you go along, you're going to pay a little bit more for that per month. I think it's up like $20 a month to get the premium Training Peaks platform. So if you want to go through and be able to manipulate your schedule and move your workouts, all that kind of stuff, you're kind of creeping into that $39 to $40 range. But here we'll get into that a little bit more about why TriDot is a little bit different than the Training Peaks platform. But I want to put this up there because everybody always asks, oh, what's it cost? What's it cost? I mean, you can get in there as little as $15 a month. And like I said, with Training Peaks, you can get in there for that premium price, and you're pretty much on par with being able to get into the platform at least. But that's kind of where it ends as far as the similarity between Training Peaks and like TriDot. And then you've got today's plan. You got a few other workout platforms that are still kind of thriving or surviving out there. But these are the 2 major ones that I have really worked with my athletes, is Training Peaks and TriDot. I've used today's plan, but unfortunately I think they're kind of underneath the Training Peaks platform and TriDot platform. So if you already have a profile, you can hit login, which I already have a profile, so I've already logged in. So what you see is your schedule will immediately pop up, and I've expanded the view. This is one of my athletes. I want to keep personal information out there, but you'll see this is kind of the week that they have planned for. So it's based off of, and I've looked ahead. Spoiler alert: she doesn't have any races planned in the future. So right now she's kind of on a maintenance kind of cycle of her training plan. So right now she's not specifically training for an event, more kind of an off-season program, or to at least maintain the fitness that she has. So this is all generated by TriDot. Like I said, I wouldn't use this platform unless I would use it as an athlete. I wouldn't use it as a coach. And I've created hundreds of training plans in Training Peaks, and I've coached hundreds of athletes in Training Peaks. And I wanted to see the difference between workouts and programs that I put together versus TriDot. And surprisingly, it is very similar in the styles and types of workouts. But where Training Peaks and TriDot diverge is TriDot has a learning component to it, to your workout. So if you do a workout and you don't do it well, it takes that into account for the next workout and reprograms next workouts maybe next week, or even 3 to 4 days from now. It says, okay, that was too much, we're going to reduce or change. Or if you went out and you just killed it, you got a 100 out of 100 score, then TriDot's like, okay, you're definitely being able to hit the workout, so we're going to make that little one, we're going to make that as top of the line difficult for where your fitness is at as possible, see if you reach that. So that's where the divergence happens. Is Training Peaks is more of a static. You could test and retest your fitness and change your thresholds and your FTP, your heart rate thresholds for your runs and everything. So the workouts will progress over time, but 4x10 will stay a 4x10 in Training Peaks. It'll just be your, whatever that 110% of your FTP is. If your FTP changes, then that target changes. Whereas TriDot is a little bit different. It takes into account your threshold, and it also takes into account with, did you hit that 4x10 last week, or did you hit the 4x9 last week? No, you didn't. Well, I'm going to make you do that 4x9 again until you hit it, until we make sure that you're ready to move on and progress from that workout. So that makes sense. It's a learning platform from where you are in your fitness and how you're completing these workouts. And what's nice is, let's see if this athlete has been doing their workouts. So they've been doing some of them. Maybe not the best example at this point in time, but so as you do these workouts, it gives you a score. There's the session score, there's an overall weekly score you can see down here at the bottom. So this gives you a good, and it's based off a 100-point scale. So if you get 100 out of 100, that means you hit every metric of that workout perfectly. So you can see this is a functional threshold test. So that's kind of difficult in the fact that it's not something that's a attainable target workout. So that's a little bit different. We'll go back one more week just to see if I can give you a good example before we move on. It doesn't look like she's necessarily been on the plane. So an easy run. She got a session score of 10 out of 13. So there's a session score, and then you can dive into the workout to see actually how you did. It's a 75 out of 100. So your session score is the 10 out of 13 because you want to go back to your week and it's going to score how much each of these workouts count for your weekly total of 100 points. So she got 10 out of 100, so that goes into figuring out what her score is for the week, which is not very good because she's in an off-season program right now, so we will keep that in mind. So that's an important component of TriDot, is it programs your workouts. There's no, like Training Peaks, you go buy a plan, or you can have a coach put in plans of workouts they've created in their libraries, whereas TriDot has pre-made plans, and you go in and you're doing them according to what the workout calls for. So big gear work, we'll just look into that one. So it's good. It has the warm-up, it has the main set, it has structured workouts, so you could bring them over to your device. So that's also a key component. So now TriDot is compatible with Garmin, I believe with Ruvi, with Zwift. The swim workouts are now compatible with Form swim goggles. They're structured. All your runs are structured, so you export them to all your watches or whatever you're running your workouts with. So that's a key component too with TriDot. If you buy a plan, like I know with my Training Peaks plans, I don't have the swims necessarily built out by structure yet, so they're not compatible with like a swim form goggle or something like that. But some coaches put in workouts without structure in Training Peaks. So if you buy a plan, doesn't have any structure, it's not going to cross, and you're not going to be able to run on your watch or whatever. You're going to have to print off a piece of paper for that workout and then go watch it and do it as you go through your workout. What's nice in TriDot is it's already built. It's compatible with pretty much any device you have. The one that is kind of a limiter for some athletes is you do need to have some technical knowledge to be able to go in and sync up your devices, to be able to troubleshoot a little bit of IT. They do have support, so if you got running problems. But I think that's important. This is very technical as far as computers go, so you do need to be a little bit savvy. Probably want to have like a Garmin or Suunto or something that you can sync and bring over your workouts and do your workouts that are structured by heart rate, power, or whatever they're structured by, pace. So that's something important to know about the workouts in TriDot. So you can see here, you can just keep going back and keep going forward. Her schedule is built out. You do have to be careful with TriDot. If you go too far in advance, you do a workout and it's not great, it'll change the week ahead. So you can't necessarily just say, oh, this is what I'm going to do on August 31st, threshold and hold for, an hour and 15 minutes. You may hit all your workouts for this week and this could change. You may miss all your workouts and this could change as well. Or you may do everything perfectly and may not change. That's the nice thing, I think, about TriDot is it goes through and it's basing your future workouts off of what your schedule is, what your fitness is at, how you're performing in your workouts currently. So with Training Peaks, not necessarily the case unless you have a true one-on-one coach that's going in there and changing your workouts as you're going along, saying, we've noticed your HRV score for your heart rate isn't that great, so let's take off next week. Let's lower the intensity. Let's pull back a little bit, or maybe you're traveling a lot, so let's pull back a little bit. With TriDot, you can go in there and it knows if you're not hitting your workouts, if you're having a hard time, it reads your HRV, it reads your stress scores and all this stuff, takes that into account, and then will program future workouts based on that information. So that's fun and a good feature with TriDot. What is also a key component with TriDot is your TriDot scores. So it's got one for swim, bike, and run. And notice for this athlete, the bike isn't great. When you create a profile, you can go in there and you can put some basic information in. It'll come out with your kind of initial scores. But this athlete has not done any updates, I think, since she initially joined. Or this might have been her last. So she might not have done anything since she originally started. Then she did some threshold testing, and this is where it's at for now. So as you do your workouts, and you can see one of her workouts was a functional threshold test for the bike. So that will go in and get her information. So her FTP for on the bike is 38, which is not that great. Functional threshold is 173. So keep that in mind. I mean, this is as good as the information in as you're going to get out. So the old saying is garbage in, garbage out. So if you don't do a good job of making sure that you put good data into TriDot, then your workouts coming out that you're supposed to be doing aren't going to be that great. So you do have to pay attention to the quality of information going in. one or two workouts where things didn't sync quite right or something like that isn't the end of the world. But if every workout for the week just isn't coming across right and isn't getting scored right, it's going to be a problem. So that's where you need to reach out to the TriDot, either support or IT support. Make sure those are coming across right to make sure that your overall picture is coming in well. Because these TriDot scores, also, we won't open on the same page. So we'll jump right into this. The RaceX is the other side. This is kind of how TriDot initially started. Was you go in and you put in some information about your swim, bike, and your run, and what race you're doing, and based off of the race profile, the course conditions, and other things of historical information, TriDot would go and calculate what your finish time would be. So right now, this athlete does not have any races in here, but you could go in and you could add races to your calendar, and then that would go back in and then tell TriDot how to backtrack and calculate your training schedule. So if you said, okay, I'm doing Ironman Texas in April of 2025, it will probably put you somewhere in a off-season kind of build to get you ready for race-specific training. So in that, it will show where you're at in your training. So if you go back to your calendar, you'll be able to kind of look at an overall view. It doesn't have it in there for this athlete because she does not have a race currently planned. But if she did, it would go back in there. You could see it would give you an overall view of where your base season is at, where your race specific is going to start, and just kind of lay out your whole season for you based on that information. Again, basing on this pricing, you have to be careful that if you got your essentials in, you get 3 scheduled races, all distances, RaceX performance. So 3 races of any distance. So TriDot is very specific in you can't have like 2 A races and 1 week apart. They have to be 2 to 3 weeks apart for A to B races. So you could pick 3 A races. You could say, okay, Ironman Texas in April, I want to do 70.3 Boulder in June, and I want to do Ironman of Florida in November. You put all those on your calendar. It will take all those into account and then give you a training plan that week based on that information and your fitness. Whereas Training Peaks, if you buy a plan for Ironman Florida, you're going to have to dovetail it in with Ironman Boulder and dovetail that in with Ironman Texas. And I've done this for plenty of athletes in Training Peaks. You either have to do it yourself or you're going to have to go in and have somebody do it for you. Whereas TriDot takes all the information in. As long as you're on the right plan, essentials plan, if you're incomplete, you get a little bit more flexibility in what you can do with it. But it'll take all that information in, and it will base your week based off your races, your schedules, your A race, your B race, your fitness, and your schedule. Because when you create your profile, you can change your preferences and change which days of the week or whatever you want to do. Long rides, long runs, don't work out, have a day off, something like that. So there's a lot of different things that TriDot can do necessarily that you're not going to be able to get out of Training Peaks and other platforms of that nature that aren't as interactive and aren't as smart as far as everyone wants to use AI, and it's not necessarily the AI is a very solid algorithm that calculates all this information based off historical information from hundreds of athletes that have gone through this program, based off of races, based off the climate of those races, based off your training conditions, based off of the weather you're doing your training indoors, outdoors, or wherever. Takes all that information into account. So a lot of things that the other platforms wouldn't take necessarily into account, TriDot does. And it makes it really a fine-toothed comb to go over your training and your workouts to make sure, especially if you're time crunched, that you can get the best workout in the like some of these. If you only got an hour on Thursday, man, you want to make the most of that hour, and that 30 by 90s will be optimized to make sure that you're getting the most out of that hour workout. That way you don't come through and you're like, well, I just got an hour in. I feel like I'm underdoing it. I think I need to do another hour or something like that. Just easy ride later. No. If this is what TriDot has, you've got everything in their program correctly. You've been doing your workouts. You've been doing information into TriDot. That's all you need to do. And then you can trust in the fact that when you go and you're going to be race ready once you get to your race. So if you're time crunched, TriDot is really a place that you want to be. It will really help you out. It'll maximize your workouts and everything. So going back through, there's some engagement. So if you have a coach, you can connect with your coach on there. There's TriDot Community. There's TriDot Hub. Metrics, there's some information that you'll have to be an upgraded platform to use, but training stress. So it shows all your training test scores, normalized training stress. So plan 202, this athlete got 12. So we can see she's definitely off season. You got training stress profiles, diagnostics. You could do DNA testing, swim form, all these other things that you could do within TriDot that necessarily other platforms do not really offer. So again, this is just a quick 10,000 foot overview. I really wanted to just get this out in front of athletes that maybe I'm not necessarily coaching, that are looking for, okay, 2025 is going to be over a year. I'm going to do my first 70.3. I'm going to do my first Ironman. And you want to do it on your own. If you want to do it on your own, TriDot is definitely a solid platform to do it. Especially here at the end of the video, I'm going to give you a way to do a 2-month free trial. So you go in there and you put all the races in, you put all your information in, you can do some assessments and move along as you want to. And as long as you're connected to me, so if you see in here, if you sign up using what I'm going to give you here in a little bit, you hit engage, you hit my coach. It'll take a minute to pull up. It'll come. There you go. So it's got me in here. So then you can hit this little button and say, I want to email my coach. And then you can email me and I will help you out. So that is the component with making sure that you pay attention here at the very end, how I'm going to give you an opportunity to get in here for 2 months. Just try it out. Don't spend a dime. Spend a little bit of time, a little bit of elbow grease, getting all your stuff synced up, your watches, your Garmin, other platforms, and just try it out. If it sucks, then don't do it anymore. Go back to whatever you're doing before, or contact me and we'll figure out something else. But again, sign in there, set up your profile. I'm creating kind of a whole to-do list video series on how to get in there, how to make the most of it. But again, this is just kind of an introductory, what is TriDot, what am I getting into? It's come a long way since I started coaching in 2020 with TriDot. It's come a long way since then. It's come a long way since the years before that, when it was just kind of a platform to kind of toy around with to see what your race predictor was for your race time. It was kind of a novelty more than anything else. But now it's become a serious player. Again, they've partnered with IRONMAN University. They've partnered with like the master coaches. They've got Tim O'Donnell. They've got Marina Carefrey. They've got, I believe, I don't want to speak out of turn, but they've got a lot of professionals, current and former professional triathletes on board, giving them input and information into this platform to help train them up. So definitely give them serious consideration. And again, if you have any questions, put them in the comments of this video. I want to post this up on YouTube as well so people can watch it there. You post comments on there if you see it later. So what you may or may not have been waiting for, I want to post it in the comments. This is a link that you can use to sign up for 2 free months just to kick the tires. And again, if it's not something you want to do, you just cancel it and be done with it. Move on to whatever platform works best for you. But I'm going to post in the comments. So hit that. Fill out the information. Make sure you choose me so you're able to, if you have a question, you can go into engage my coach and you'll see me in there that you can email me any questions that you have that is not IT related or something like that I can help you out with. So hopefully this sheds a little bit more light on what TriDot is, how it can maybe help you out. Maybe is it something you need to look into, especially, time of this recording this video, we're in August, kind of getting towards late August. A lot of people are thinking about either like a marathon maybe, and then they're looking at their 2025 season to think, okay, I need to start getting ready for that full, that half, that whatever, and maybe this is the direction you want to go. So give it a try. Like I said, the off season is the best time to go out there and try it and see if it is. If it works for you, really get that, T's crossed, the I's dotted, and really get that squared away and make sure that you're ready to hit the ground running come January, getting ready for all your events in 2025, because it is full steam ahead. They're releasing more 70.3s. I don't know if they're going to release any more Ironman new courses for next year, but I know like Texas and Florida, a lot of different places like Placid, A lot of different events are renewing their contracts to continue on with the full courses they've got. So definitely going to be a full year for Ironman. So if you want to do one of those races, you want to do first 70.3, I think this is a solid option to get in there and optimize your training, especially if you've got family, you've got work. I got all the above, and this is definitely a good optimized way to do your training to get to that finish line without losing your mind, without losing your job, without losing your family, and everybody's happy, and Merry Christmas and all that. Anyway, we're gonna wrap up this video. Hopefully this helped you out. If it didn't, let me know what more I could have told you that would have given you better information. If it was great, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, like, all the other things. And we're going to end the video on that. So with that, we'll see you in the next video. Happy training out there.